Alright, The Mandalorian has been out for about 5 weeks. There's 4 episodes out. I'm going to be going through episodes 1 through 3 on this little video. Starting with episode 1, you're introduced to our main character, the Mandalorian. He is a bounty hunter like most Mandalorians that you see throughout the Star Wars franchise. It establishes pretty early on that he's kind of a badass. Walks into a bar looking for his target, his bounty. Has an altercation with some people. Beats them all. Has a little conversation with his bounty. The guy offers him a bunch of money, says, I got a bunch of money, don't take me, I'll buy you out of the contract. To show his character, I guess he refuses because he's going to start a job, so he's going to finish the job. He's a bounty hunter, he's going to abide by that code. They leave said bar or tavern, then you're introduced to a little bit more of the world and then some creatures. They're on an ice planet. He has to take a little glider to get over to where his ship was parked. When they get there, there's a monster that comes out of the ice. It's like a walrus crocodile kind of like hybrid mix thing. Kind of cool looking. Get in the ship to get away. So he makes it back to his base of operations, which is a little town that seems to be on a desert planet or a desert part of a planet, where him and a lot of other bounty hunters from this guild seem to frequent. And they also all get their contracts there at the bar from none other than Carl Weathers, which he goes to find his next job. And after not liking any of the jobs that he has there to offer them, he asks for something with a bigger payment. Carl Weathers has one job that's kind of, I guess, a little bit off the grid there, so he has to go meet with a third party, which happens to be decaying remnants of the Empire. So you see a bunch of like kind of beaten down and worn stormtroopers and some other dudes that offer him a job, and they give him a down like deposit on it, which is metal that has the stamp of the Empire. And this metal happens to be the metal that Mandalorians use to make their armor that comes from their planet. And after this, we're introduced to the secret like Mandalorian society that's kind of in hiding because their numbers are so few now, which is kind of cool to see because I feel like they haven't had a whole lot of Mandalorians together on a live action show before this. Anyways, so he makes an armor piece with that down deposit, and then he's on his way to go find his bounty. Gets to the planet, then you see this alien species, another one, kind of looks like a piranha thing, right? That like walks around on the ground. One of them rushes him, is about to take him out, gets saved by this alien dude. So you're introduced to this other character, and he wants to offer him help because he wants whatever this thing is out of his planet anyways, because it's not peaceful anymore. So he helps him train so he can ride one of those creatures. When he finally makes it to the location of his bounty, he finds himself outmatched. Luckily, the guild sent somebody else that hadn't gotten there just in time, which is a bounty hunter droid. They pretty much kind of smoked everybody for him. I mean, he helped, but it kind of made him look like obsolete for a second. When they get inside and find the bounty, they have a disagreement to where the droid wants to kill him because it says to kill him, but the Mandalorian does not want to kill him. So the Mandalorian kills the droid, and the bounty was actually a baby Yoda, out of all things. When he makes it back to his ship with the baby Yoda, he sees that it's been like scrapped for parts by none other than Jawas and their sandcrawler, which I thought was kind of cool. He tries to find them all so he can get his parts back, but it doesn't work. Then he runs into that dude again, and he tells him like, oh yeah, we can trade with the Jawas, like you just have to relax, like I'll do the talking. What they wanted was this egg that was in a cave guarded by this furry rhino looking creature, which I would assume it would be his offspring. It actually gives him a pretty good fight and is probably about to kill him, but then, spoiler alert, he gets levitated off of the ground because the baby Yoda that's with him is force sensitive. And Yoda's species itself is actually really gifted in the Force according to Star Wars canon, so basically all of them will probably be Jedi. Though he did help, he kind of tuckers himself out and he's like passed out for a while after that. He makes it back to the Jawas and they get the egg and they eat it, which is kind of funny because they pretty much just send him out there to get like their lunch. They get the parts back. Him and the old man fix the ship. He offers him a job saying, I can pay you a bunch of money, come with me, and he says no, that we just want to be peaceful. There you go. He believes that. Makes it back to turning the baby Yoda to those old Empire dudes. You can tell he's having a little bit of second thoughts. Snaps out of it, he does it anyways, to which they give him a whole lot of that metal. and he goes and gets himself a whole new set of armor with that. But while he's getting his armor crafted, he's confronted by one of the other Mandalorians in their headquarters, where he says why they don't like that he has this medal that has the Empire stamp, because like, why is he dealing with the Empire? And eventually, I guess who you would say might be the leader there kind of calms the situation down, and they all agree that, I mean, you have to do what you gotta do. After this, he goes back to Carl Weathers to find another job, and it ends up with him asking more about what happened to the kid, what are they gonna do with it, to which he replies that it's against their code to know what happens after that. They're just there to do the job. So he picks another job, and just as he's about to leave, he's having more thoughts about the kid. So he goes back to that place, and fights a bunch of stormtroopers, breaks them out. He wants to flee the town, but as he's fleeing, Carl Weathers and the other bounty hunters show up to stop him. To which then a bunch of cool little action happens, where he's having a shoot off with all of these bounty hunters in this town, and he has this plasma rifle that pretty much disintegrates people, which is always fun to watch. Just as he's about to lose and get pinned down, the other people from the secret society, like the Mandalorians, come and help him, which is fun to watch because everybody's got jetpacks except for our main character. And also one guy has a minigun blaster, which is like fun and different. He makes it back to the ship where he's confronted by Carl Weathers once more. That's a one-on-one. He ends up shooting Carl Weathers, knocking him off of the ship so he can get away. Carl Weathers ends up not being dead because he was protected by that medal that he got from the Empire. As he's flying off of the planet though, Mando sees another Mandalorian in a jetpack, where he comments like, oh, I have to get one of those, which is kind of funny because I was wondering why he didn't have one to begin with. And then him and the kid just fly off, and that's where the episode 3 ends, and that's pretty much all so far in those 3 episodes that has happened. And that's a wrap.